And on to our top focus, the Sri Lankan President Mahinda Rajapaksa has conceded defeat in the presidential elections held yesterday in Sri Lanka. As counting is underway, his challenger Maithripala Sirisena has registered a considerable lead. Rajapaksa's decision to hold presidential elections 2 years before schedule has majorly backfired. We have T.S. Sudhir joining us on the phone line with all the latest. Sudhir, the question that we were in fact discussing just before we hit a short commercial break, what will be Sirisena's outlook towards India? Because India seems to be the biggest neighbor or the closest neighbor for Sri Lanka.
Well, under President Mahinda Rajapaksa, what happened in the last 9 years of his presidency was that China had made huge inroads into Sri Lanka, and that was of major concern to India. And they were really looking at someone like Maithripala Sirisena, whether he would actually reverse that. India is still waiting and watching, because remember, Sirisena was part of Rajapaksa's dispensation till a couple of months ago, and whether he really takes a very different viewpoint as far as India is concerned will be crucial to watch. But yes, Sirisena has made noises during the election campaign that he would not really share Rajapaksa's viewpoint as far as China is concerned. But China at the moment is the largest investor as far as the island nation of Sri Lanka is concerned, and that could change a bit once Sirisena takes over as the next president of Sri Lanka. So at the moment, India, Sri Lanka and the US, these are the major stakeholders as far as Sri Lanka is concerned. And under Sirisena, this could change or at least be altered a bit in favor of India, is the viewpoint that both India share as well as many of the India watchers sitting there in Colombo actually share.
Absolutely. T.S. Sudhir getting us all the latest. Now, Sudhir, another important question is going to be Mr. Sirisena's understanding and also tuning, political tuning with the leadership here in India. That is Mr. Narendra Modi. Has Mr. Sirisena ever spoken about Narendra Modi or for Narendra Modi? What really is his equation with this particular individual? Because that is what is now going to be important from the Indian perspective. How do the leaderships they see each other, and how is that going to eventually move forward as far as running the country is concerned?
Well, Sankit, since you mentioned Narendra Modi, in fact, one of the interesting sidelights of this election campaign has been the criticism by Mahinda Rajapaksa's camp of Sirisena's wardrobe. In fact, Sirisena wears the half jacket very much in Narendra Modi style. So some of the text messages that Mahinda Rajapaksa's camp sent out during the election campaign was to criticize Sirisena, what they call copying Narendra Modi's sartorial style. But leaving that aside, Sirisena is not someone who is a known commodity outside Sri Lanka, despite having been part of the dispensation of Rajapaksa over so many years, because Rajapaksa was such a towering figure that he actually was seen as the main person, and his family was seen as the main entity which was controlling the destiny of Sri Lanka. Sirisena now will have to almost start from scratch to have some kind of a rapport with its immediate neighbor, that is India, and see what can be worked out. But having said that, at least from the Tamil Nadu perspective, and that's going to be a critical perspective as far as India's foreign policy is concerned, Tamil Nadu does not really see much of a difference between Rajapaksa and Sirisena, because both of them belong to the majority Sinhala Buddhist community. Also the fact that he was part of the dispensation which actually annihilated the LTTE, committed a whole lot of atrocities in the Tamil areas. So they will indeed wait and watch to see whether Sirisena will have a different take on these various contentious issues in Sri Lanka, different from that of Rajapaksa. But yes, it's a new beginning as far as Sri Lanka is concerned, especially if Sirisena actually keeps all the promises that he has made during the course of the election campaign.
Now, Sudhir, very quickly before we let you go, two things. As far as Mr. Sirisena is concerned, perhaps he will be seen by the Tamil parties as a lesser political evil as opposed to Mahinda Rajapaksa, who's credited in Sri Lanka to take on the LTTE, and much to the dislike of Tamil political parties in Tamil Nadu. But the second point, the second most important point that is going to be about Sirisena's efficiency in Tamil Nadu, in Sri Lanka. Will he be seen as an equally powerful leader? For the longest time, Mahinda Rajapaksa was associated with, a person who could, like a go-getter, a doer. Is that sort of a feeling something which will be associated with Mr. Sirisena as well, apart from just anti-incumbency?
Well, Sirisena does not have that kind of an image at the moment, and that's going to be something which we'll really need to work on. In fact, during the entire election campaign, Mahinda Rajapaksa was stressing on the fact that the economy in Sri Lanka had done very well under his presidency, and that is one of his major achievements, despite which he has been defeated. Sirisena will really have to actually craft his own image as the next president of Sri Lanka, because that's not something which is really known for. He's known to be much more of a mild politician, not the go-getter that Rajapaksa had that kind of an image. Sirisena, of course, does not have that kind of an image, but he will really have to evolve as the new president of Sri Lanka. But indeed, if he actually shifts the powers and abolishes executive presidency in Sri Lanka, that will be something which will be very interesting to watch, because it will be seen as whether the Prime Minister is allowed to emerge as the key important political figure in the politics of Sri Lanka.
Absolutely. T.S. Sudhir joining us from Colombo with all the latest. Sudhir, we'll keep coming back to you as and when we get more information. Thanks very much for joining us.